We're nearly finished here in the third quadrant control, just collecting final samples before moving on. Life support readings are good. Oxygen at 75%.
Thank you, Captain. Let us know when you're back in the shuttle.
Roger that, control.
Boy, I'd like to get her oxygen levels over 75%.
Just keep your mind on the job.
And it's time to see how exactly they've been fooling us. So here goes. So many of us have thought that they are doing spacewalks in a pool, mostly because we see bubbles and a scuba tank in one video. But there are so many other things about their practice sessions that bother me. Now, when watching this footage, I saw them close this big door into some sort of a black room, and I figured I'd look around for more. And I did find some interesting footage that looks like it was taken in some sort of a blackened out pool. Then I saw this one with what looks like a ball Earth showing behind this astronaut.
Houston, we have a problem.
And if you look, you'll see here's an editing room or a TV room. And this kind of activity is just not even needed, unless, of course, you're doing some sort of professional editing. Now, what kind of edits could they possibly be doing? So I believe they're actually editing photos. But also, they're faking space. So, there are numerous ways it could be done, but one way would be with layers or PNG images that would be added to the videos. And here you got a little control center. But this next picture shows you something very interesting. If we zoom in here, you'll see that they are cutting out sections or layers or images. And there's absolutely zero reason to do this. If this was just a practice run in a pool, you would never need to do this kind of editing, unless you're trying to edit live video. So let's see if that's even possible in today's technology. So we should know that anything that they can show us nowadays, they've had for 20 or 30 years. So it shouldn't surprise us that they have the ability now to simply edit out live items from live video. So you'll see here they're just able to remove items that are sitting on the desk from the live video itself. Probably not very hard, as it takes the background kind of that area. And you'll see there has that morphed. Hopefully you saw that. Yeah, you can see it there, that it kind of does come back in. It's not perfect. So we would be able to expect to see some errors. Even with NASA, if they were extremely careful, we might be able to see some errors or some anomalies that would happen because they're editing out these scuba divers. So you see there's some stuff on the counter that's also been disappeared. And here again. And this is a good image that shows you the errors in it because it's not perfect. And you can kind of mask it and blend it. But as you move around, occasionally you're going to get a little bit of ghosting or some remnants of whatever it is you're trying to delete. You see here they took this grate off the side of this wall and just filled it in with the area around it. So this wouldn't be very difficult at all. You would need some people at the live editing stations just kind of watching, and as long as you had a 20-second or 10-second delay, you'd be just fine. So is this something they could possibly be doing, and do we have any evidence that that in fact is happening? So in a moment we're going to watch an actual spacewalk. For now we are watching the training. And just watch a few things. You can see how these scuba divers assist the astronauts themselves. They kind of help them when they need help with a certain knob, or to carry their cord, or to move some cable, or to lift them up by their feet or their backs. You can see here he's kind of pushing him up, giving him a little bit of assistance. And so again, you've got a ton of these guys, and if you listen to the Flat Earth Math conversation, my problem is if these guys have their life on the line in space, then you would have them practice without any scuba diver. This way, if they made an error that would have cost them their life, you can say, hey, that would have cost you your life. In this case, they're getting scuba help, and then when they go into the real-world situation, they get absolutely no help, and their life's on the line. That makes no sense. You'll see a couple different poses that these guys are, that guy down there is laying down, almost as if it's something that he would have to do in a real spacewalk to kind of hide. You'll see here he's got some sort of pole that he's twisting and turning. You can see him there in the back. And just kind of watch the way that they move. They are definitely just kind of floating. They're not really swimming around. They just can kind of maintain their position. And in a second here, he's going to spring up to help with one of these apparatuses. And you'll kind of get an idea of what it would look like if they're swinging. Here he comes. And you'll see he tries to grab this, and then this guy swings and hits him in the face. And we'll watch that a little bit backwards, just so you can see how it looks as they swing in, get hit in the face, knocked out, up, upside down, back. So just get an idea of what the scuba divers actually look like when they're in there assisting. And now what the story is that these guys go to space. And at that point, the scuba divers obviously remain on Earth. Interesting to note, this is the little picture that's on the side of the control room wall. And you'll see Vitruvian Man, and you'll see the scuba diver coming to give him a little drill tool. And you'll notice in the upper left here of this square the circle-like image, you'll see a rocket that is trying to leave, and it appears it's broken through some sort of a dome or firmament. I know that's crazy, because we go to space all the time, and so why would they depict a rocket that's breaking out? I don't know. Can't even think of any reason for that at all. Except maybe the fact that they've never gone anywhere and desperately want to. Next, we're going to look at the beginning of this spacewalk. When this spacewalk started, the screen that they show from Mission Control there in Houston or wherever they're at, look at the screen on the upper left, and you'll notice that they are showing a scene which clearly shows 2 astronauts and 2 or 3 scuba divers, which really caught me off guard when I saw that. Usually not what you're expecting to see when you see the control room. So clearly you can see in the upper left that there's the divers, and there is also the astronauts. You see the divers wearing the black, the astronauts in the white, contrasting colors. And now this is the actual EVA. It's a Russian EVA number 22 from June 5th, 2009. All right, well, hopefully you saw something interesting. If not, I'm going to point some things out to you here. One of the first things is that the structure itself looks like it moves in water. I'm also a little bit zoomed in, so you notice that. We're going to be looking at a couple different things, but that one thing that you see flying around there straight in the middle right now, it looks like a black bag. If you watch that, I'm making the assertion that that is actually, you'll see it's hanging on to that ladder there. I guess we'll call that a ladder. And you'll see that the dark spot is holding on to the ladder, causing it to move. And in a second, it will jump from the ladder. You see it? It's leaving that ladder. It has nothing to do with the person. It's jumping onto his back and moving him around. And if you just watch enough of this, you'll see that these are people. These are actual divers, that person there. Now, you're not going to see the entire diver. I do think there's a few times that we do see that. But it is live edited out. So it's meant to look like a bag attached to the astronaut. And you'll see that it moves too independent of itself. See there, it's lifting the person up. It's not as if the person is pulling the bag up. The bag's on a big string. There again, you'll see it's hanging on the ladder. And again, it jumps off the ladder onto the back. And then again, later we see it push the person up. You see here, it's jumping onto his back. What those are divers. And they are live edited out of the footage. It's not even very difficult to do. As we saw, you can do it as a chroma key type event. Or just have a nice delay where somebody's in there with a brush, and we'll see several examples of them covering up little areas. So anyway, just keep watching. We'll see coming around there on the upper part, you'll see what looks like somebody's on top of the astronaut's head. I'm kind of showing this in rewind so you can see that he'll actually come up, and you see him out there, and you can actually watch his feet. Watch the diver's feet. We're not watching the black backpack anymore. We're going to watch what's coming around the side there. See that bright light? Now that is his feet. He's kicking. That is a scuba diver. See the tank? and he kind of jumps up on this guy's back trying to help him, and then this guy throws him off. And you see him, he'll just get flung right back. That was me rewinding. You'll see a lot of that. So once you watch all this, you should start to get an idea of exactly what's going on. I think there's more than several instances where you can tell that these are not inanimate objects. You'll see that. That's a diver. You'll see he comes here to help the astronaut. Usually they grab their feet and then move them where they need to be. So I'm just rewinding and fast forwarding here, trying to get a better view. In a few minutes I'll also change the colors. We get a better view that way. And you'll see there he swings down, just like we saw him swing earlier. And we'll kind of rewind this up, and you'll see that he swings down. See now, right there, if you look at the opening in between the two astronauts, you'll see this person grab his feet. Watch here, and move his feet, grab his feet, and move him back towards the station. Okay. Now, if anybody else sees the way I do, it looks like these astronauts were having a fight with the scuba divers this day. Now, it sounds crazy, sounds silly, but you'll notice there's several instances where it looks like they're not happy with each other. Now, look down below, you'll see the fins of the scuba diver there. Think of that white circle as being a helmet. It probably isn't, but you can see clearly that there is a flipper that is flipping there. We'll see lots of that. Another thing you might notice is there's just constant color changes and light changes, and the whole station actually looks like it's in water. If you've ever been in a pool late at night or seen a pool light, they have the same kind of effects on the station that you see in the lower left here.
I just saw this footage, and this is completely ridiculous. Just take a look. People already know NASA is a complete hoax, a complete psyop, a complete fraud, but this is really the final nail in the coffin. These supposed astronauts are working in a swimming pool. Look at this door. It's flopping around. It's like almost like a tent, a covering for a tent or something. It's just, or a garbage can lid, more like it. This is completely ridiculous how that thing is flopping around. Take a look at this footage here, even another angle here. This one, thought that was bad. Just look at that thing. They're supposedly in outer space, and people, they buy what NASA has to say. Oh, it's from the government. It's an official agency, so why would they lie to us? This is all about proving we live on a ball Earth, which I'll show in a little bit. Look at this thing flop around here. Completely ridiculous. You really think this is airtight? You're just taking a closer look again. I mean, give me a break. I wonder what the shills are going to say about this, how they're going to rationalize this. Give me a break. They're going to say, oh, this is some testing. It's not real. This is not really them in space. What excuses are they going to make? Just a little, again, a closer look. Looks like a garbage can lid. All this is garbage. When astronauts go in this garbage can, that's all this is. And what's taking place here? I believe it's all underwater. Just like here in this footage here, this supposed astronaut in training. There's that door right there. The whole purpose of NASA is to prove we live on a ball Earth. That's what NASA's all about. It supports evolution. With evolution, the Big Bang, creating the ball Earth, of course with a flat Earth with a dome over it, that proves a creator. Once the foundation is a lie, everything else after is a lie as well. These people are so transparent. How people, again, buy these liars, it's beyond me. How the media, the government have complete mind control over the masses. And this quote is what it all comes down to. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed. Exactly what's taking place in this world.
Space, the final frontier.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
Astronauts to the moon.
The Force can have a strong influence on the weak-minded.
Have you ever stood and stared at it, marveled at its beauty, its genius? Billions of people just living out their lives, oblivious obvious.